Good day everyone. Today we're going to discuss about biomolecules. But before that, our learning objectives for today is to recognize the major categories and differentiate the biomolecules from each other. So let's start. First is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the major source of energy for the body. Foods that are rich in carbohydrates mainly includes turnips, banana, rice, and corn. Carbohydrates are divided into three types, which is monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, from the prefix mono, which means one, is the simplest sugar and the basic subunit of a carbohydrate. These compounds are white solid at room temperature. The most common monosaccharides are glucose and fructose. Spotted something familiar? Did you know that compounds with the same molecular formula are called isomers? So glucose and fructose are isomers because they have CH2O2 in glucose and CH2OH in fructose. Exactly. Though they have the same molecular formula, this sugar cannot be used in the same way by the cells in the body. Now let us move on to disaccharides. Disaccharides are a type of carbohydrate made up of two monosaccharide or simple sugar units linked together by a glycosolic bond. They are sometimes called double sugars. The reaction produces water as a side product. Condensation reaction. Condensation reaction is a reaction in which two molecules or parts of the same molecule combine. During the condensation of monosaccharides to form disaccharides, one molecule of water is lost. When two glucose molecules and are combined, maltose is formed and water is lost during the process. A hydrolysis reaction occurs when the bond between monosaccharide is broken with the addition of a water molecule. So these are the digestible disaccharides found in foods, mainly sucrose, which is composed of glucose and fructose, lactose, which is composed of galactose and glucose, and maltose, which is composed of glucose and glucose. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are a class of carbohydrates made up of many monosaccharide or simple sugar units joined together by a glycosolic bonds. In other words, they are large sugar polymers. The term polysaccharide comes from the Greek poly, which means many, and saccharide, which means sugar. They consist of more than 10 monosaccharide units. Many polysaccharides have hundreds or thousands. The monosaccharide unit can all be the same, which is called homopolysaccharide, or different, which is heteropolysaccharide. So now let's just move on to the structure of some polysaccharides, which is cellulose, starch, glycogen, and chitin.
Good day everyone. Today, I'll be reporting about lipids, one of the major type of biomolecules found in living things. Lipids are a broad group of biological molecules that are generally insoluble in water, but soluble in nonpolar solvents like oil or alcohol. In simple terms, lipids are fats, oils, and waxes that our body uses mainly for storing energy and building cell membranes. Lipids are mostly made up of carbon, hydrogen, and a small amount of oxygen. Some lipids might also contain phosphorus and nitrogen, depending on the type. Lipids are energy-rich and water-insoluble biomolecules, and they serve three main functions. 1. They store energy for long-term use. Second, they build cell membranes which protect our cells. And third, they regulate biological processes like hormone production. Here are some examples of lipids: triglycerides, phospholipids, and cholesterol. The image shows the structures of common fatty acids and triglycerides. Fatty acids are the basic building blocks of many lipids. This is one of the structures of cholesterol. Although cholesterol is often seen as bad, our body actually needs it to make hormones and vitamin D and substances that help digest our fats. Some foods that are rich in lipids include butter, cheese, nuts, eggs, and meat. These are our main sources of fats which are led to our body to convert into energy when needed. So to summarize, lipids are energy-rich, water-insoluble molecules composed of mainly carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they store energy, build membranes, and play vital roles in many biological functions. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Proteins. Proteins are large, complex biomolecules made of amino acids linked together by peptide bonds. They are often called the building blocks of life because they are essential for the structure, function, and regulation of the body cells, tissues, and organs. So, mo ni ang amino acid structure. Like, as can you see sa picture is upat ka buok groups ng nasa structure, which is amino, hydrogen, carboxylic, and R group or side chains. Peptide bond. Mao ni siya ang ga-connect sa mga amino acids. So as you can see sa picture is ang O ug H reacting sa H which turn into H2O. So mag-connect na sila, ang tawagan na nila ay dipeptide. Proteins are characterized by their primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures. Primary protein structure is sequence of a chain of amino acid. So makita niyo mo diri sa picture na yung mga circle muna sila ang mga amino acids. Secondary protein structure occurs when the sequence of amino acids are linked by hydrogen bonds. Moon ni sila ang common protein folding, which is alpha helix plated sheets. Tertiary protein structure occurs when a certain attraction is present between alpha helix and a plated chains. Quaternary protein structure. So kanina structure is dagan na kay mga amino acid bantog na complex na kay sila na complex tay tungod sa kadagan og amino acid.
So let's start. Nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are large biomolecules that store and transmit genetic information in living organisms. They are polymers made of repeating units called nucleotides. So now let's compare DNA and RNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, while RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. The description of DNA. It contains the genetic instruction used in the development and function of all living organisms, while RNA, it is responsible for the template and synthesis of proteins which in turn control the operation and function of the cell. The function of DNA: long-term storage and transmission of the genetic information, while RNA transfer the genetic information for the creation of proteins from the nucleus to the ribosomes. The sugar and bases of DNA. The sugar of DNA is deoxyribose sugar, for phosphate backbone, four bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, while RNA uses ribose sugar. Then the bases are phosphate backbone. It has four bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. The pairing of bases of DNA: AT. A stands for adenine and T stands for thymine. GC. G stands for guanine and C stands for cytosine. While RNA, AU. A stands for adenine and U stands for uracil. And just the same, GC, G stands for guanine and C stands for cytosine. So the other terms are carbohydrates are made from aldehydes and Ketones containing numerous hydroxyl groups. Lipids are water-insoluble molecules that are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Lipids are also known as fats. Proteins are polymers of amino acids. They are found in hair, nails, and connective tissues. Deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA and ribonucleic acid or RNA are nucleic acids. Both, both, both DNA and RNA are polymers that are made of nucleotides. Polymer is a large organic molecule consisting of small repeating units called monomers. Monomer is a small molecule that joins with other similar molecules to make a polymer. Biomolecule is any molecule that is produced by a living organism, including large macromolecules such as proteins, polysaccharides, lipids, and nucleic acids. Condensation reaction is a process by which two molecules form a bond with the removal of a molecule of water. Hydrolysis is a reaction in which water is added to reactant, breaking the reactant into two products. And that's all. I hope I thank you.